So today I'll be continuing to take a look at a scenario where a civilization starts over. In the last episode we saw a ton of events happen. First of all, we saw a lot of new countries and tribes over here in North America be discovered. We saw some more exploration in South America, Australia and China. Plus we saw a lot of expansion over here in Central Asia. And this episode will have even more exploration and expansion by a lot of countries. So let's waste no time and get straight into this video. For the first event of this video we are gonna go over here to China, and that's because the exploration will continue in here. First we'll have the Hokkaido island of Japan be explored in here, followed by some final and more explorations over in here into the Chinese territories, and then we are gonna see some more explorations over here across the Himalayas because of these two nations that expanded here in the last episode. And from here it seems like the Himalayan part is about to get cut off from the main Chinese part, but similar enough to how we saw in the last episode, a lot of tribes appearing over here in North America. We are now gonna introduce the Chinese tribes. And here it is, our new map with all the Chinese tribes added to it. And we have here a Nepali tribe, two middle Chinese tribes. Then we see a lot of tribes here on the coast, with this blue one being the second strongest out of all these countries. Then next door we see the Korean country, which is by far the strongest out of these. Then in Japan we see this green Japanese country, and here in the north we see two massive countries in Mongolia and in Manchuria. Very big nations, and these are definitely way stronger and way more advanced tribes compared to the ones that we had in the last episode in North America. And similar enough, now they'll get discovered by humans and also explore land of their own. First, with the countries that are already explored and discovered by humans, they'll now explore together with the rest of the world these parts of land over in here around Vladivostok, kind of where Russia is in real life. Then going like this, they also end up meeting with Korea, as Korea was recently exploring through these parts and even starting to make settlements in here. Even more surprising than with the North American tribes, these guys are even more friendlier with the outside world. You know, these guys are actually pretty advanced, which is pretty interesting. Now most of these aren't even tribes at this point, because it's just they've been here for a very long time, you know, since the ending of the mass explorations. And now we kind of need to discuss how they actually formed, because speaking of, during the mass explorations, you know, well, people were exploring through here. They discovered Siberia, they discovered Southeast Asia, and of course some people did go into China, and those people ended up, well, remaining in there. And over the span of over 1,000 years, they had formed all these 10 civilizations over in here, and very impressive and important settlements. And that's pretty much how these countries got formed. But anyway, now they will keep exploring over in here together with the outsiders, with like people from like these Siberian countries, the Chinese countries, or from the stronger countries in the world like Teria, Aldicta, or Derlandia. They also work together to discover this river in here, and from here we see the entire Chinese coast getting discovered and explored. And this is a huge step for humanity. It doesn't require one more than a lucky sail to Japan to discover the green Japanese country, and together with them they'll discover the rest of the archipelago of Japan. So now also Japan is explored. But going back to China, explorations are going awesome. They are discovering a lot of land, all these tribes together, and honestly I shouldn't even call them tribes, because these aren't really tribes, these are more like countries. In fact, they are countries, you know. They have like stable governments and stuff, so they are very impressive settlements and civilizations. But anyway, now they all continue to explore over in these lands, as now they discover this dark red civilization and this orange civilization. And I'm gonna say, yeah, these ones are definitely tribes. These are way weaker and way more at the beginning, but they do stop exploring here where they get to the Himalayas, where a nation in here is waiting for them. And now almost all of China is explored, and probably in the next episode or the episode after that, we'll see Asia being fully explored, and this is a very big achievement for the world, as now pretty much the entire Earth is starting to, well, be explored and be mapped out. So the Earth is starting to get fully explored slowly but surely. And now we are gonna come back to North America for a second, and this is for a very good reason, because now we are gonna see the Dakotan Empire meet up with the outside countries, and this is a very shocking and very important event for the world. And yes, at first the Dakotan Empire does clash with the outside countries, and understandably the outside countries do win, but after a quick compromise they decide to put aside their differences and explore North America together. And first of all, they go and explore the North American territories around this dark side nation over in here, so their borders get fully explored just like this. And then they also go and explore over in here in the south and meet up with the light blue country over in here, discovering them. And also with the help of them, they'll now go over in here and meet up with the Texan country over in here and start to explore more across the continent, as now they start to like push inner into here and discover more and more land. But it's around here that they stop, as this is a lot of exploration for some very young countries and newly discovered countries, plus the fact that it's pretty recent after the Dakotan Empire had met up with the outside world. And now this leads to a very interesting map of North America, which pretty much consists of this Quebec part to the Mississippi River, to the Dakota Territory, to Nevada, and then over here into Texas, which is a pretty interesting map of North America. But we are not gonna leave North America yet, and this is because now we'll see these guys over in here, the two Mexican countries, the two North Mexican countries will go around and meet up here with the South Mexican country, or Purple Mexico if you wanna call it that, and they do meet up, and again they at first clash against each other, but after some quick compromises they become friendly and kind of start to explore together. And also for the final exploration over here in North America, we see the Louisiana country start to explore here around Florida. But now going back to China, we are gonna see a new country forming around in here, as now with all these newly explored areas, you know, a lot of people are now gonna start to migrate from pretty much all the countries around the world, and now they'll go over here into China to set up new civilizations. The first country that's gonna be forming is around here. It's a Chinese country. It's a very big Chinese country over in here, and it's pretty much entirely formed out of migrating people from Europe and North Africa coming over here into China to form a big and powerful country. And the second country that will be formed is none other than Vietnam. This is a grey Vietnamese country that forms over in here, kind of similar to the green Chinese country. It's also very it also has a very big population of migrating people from Europe and North Africa, but this one also has a lot more Asian people, like here from Southeast Asia and from China being part of it. And now coming to the Korean Empire, they will also take this island and also this tiny island over in here in the big Chinese Sea over in here, and they grow larger, and again they are the strongest country in this region, and they are benefiting a lot from trade with the outside world. Then we also see a country forming over here in Hokkaido, Japan. They will be taking the entire island, and well, now they have a country over in here. They are pretty strong, and again they are kind of a mix of indigenous people with migration, with like migrating people, and similar enough to the other countries, they are kind of a mix with indigenous people and migrating people from other countries across the globe, and now they have got exactly what they wanted, and this is a country over here in Japan. But now coming back to these two little countries over in here, they will be expanding first the orange one and then the dark red one as they expand pretty heavily over in here due to a pretty big population boom, again from like migrating people coming over here into Asia and profiting off of these new lands. And now we'll also see the skin Siberian country over in here, which lost the war in Siberia over here in the last episode. They'll now expanding they'll now be expanding over here into these new lands and be claiming them for themselves, and now they also grow bigger and larger on the map. But now it's time for a pretty big war. And for this war we'll need to go over here into Asia, but not here into East Asia, but rather into Southeast Asia, because some stuff is gonna be happening between Maxim and the pirates over in here. Recently the pirates have been thriving over in here. They have explored a lot of Australia and Oceania, and they've been doing great, but now under the power of a new leader, they'll now decide that it's time for some expansion over into the Indonesian archipelago, and now they'll start to expand into these lands. They'll colonize them, but someone will see this and will not be very happy, and this is Raksim, and they are not at all happy with the fact that the pirates are expanding into these lands, as they kind of see them impeding on their territory. Now, how are they doing that? I don't know, ask them, but they will kind of come with the counter attack. As now Raksim will also come here in Sumatra and start taking over the rest of the island, and we'll kind of have a race between them over who can get more of the island, and it's gonna be pretty easily the pirates as they are already in here. I mean, heck, their capital is on this island, and now I'm gonna give these guys an official border. This is now the official border, but after this the pirates are gonna be very mad at Raksim because they have taken a lot of land that they wanted to take, and now they are accusing Raksim of impeding on their territory. Again, how are they doing this? I guess you could ask them, but some stuff goes very wrong between them, and then the pirates over here declare full sovereignty and independence. Now, more exactly, I'm gonna say this: the pirates aren't really recognized as an independent country across the world. There's like very few countries which actually recognize them as independent, but now they will kind of declare independence and kind of tell the world, hey, recognize me as independent. No one will really like no one will really listen to them, and most especially Raksim will not listen to this, and will have a war break out between the two, and will have the start of the Indonesian war. First of all, we'll see Raksim hop the border with the pirate state and start to push into their territory, and they will push pretty well. Now let's remember these guys are pirates, so they are kind of meant to be on the boats and on the sea, and because of this they have a lot of ports that are like very hard to take, so it's because of this reason that Raksim isn't able to capture the coast. But this doesn't really matter because they are absolutely crushing the pirates into the main inner territories of their nation, and it does seem like this is the end of the pirates, as now they are losing pretty badly, and we already see a spearhead starting to form towards their capital over here on the coast. But it is here that Raksim will realize who they are actually fighting against with. They are fighting not against any regular nation, they are fighting against pirates. So they'll do something pretty evil, will send their ships, the pirates will send their ships over here across the Bay of Bengal, and they will make a landing onto this island over in here of Raksim and pretty much totally destroy their naval supremacy in here as they take this archipelago of islands, and from here they make a landing over in here and take their capital. Now this isn't good at all now, is it? Well, guess what? It's not. And this was actually the pirates' plan. Basically, they wanted to let Raksim push here into their mainland so that the pirates could use all their force with all their ships, all their pirates, all their troops to send them through here, capture this archipelago, and from there take their capital. This plan ended up successfully. And after this, Raksim will pretty much be crushed. We'll have the pirates go over here and capture the entire northern part, and now they're starting to push down through the peninsula, and now Raksim is pretty much dead. And then we immediately see Raksim being kicked out of the pirates' territory, and now they go ahead and start to push into their territories over here on the Sumatra island, which is pretty funny considering that not very long ago they are the ones that were pushed, but now the pirates have pulled an Uno reversed card, and with this they managed to take the entire Sumatra island away from Raksim, and now they are only left with their little portion here in the Malacca Peninsula, in which the pirates make a landing, and after this we'll see Raksim surrendering over to the pirates. The pirates have won, and we'll take a look at the peace treaty. And in the peace treaty we see that now the pirate state will gain its independence and will get recognized as an independent country by the world after their very huge win in this war, and more exactly they get all of Sumatra Island and take this archipelago from Raksim, and also the rest of Raksim is turned into a puppet state of the Al-Asabi pirate state. And the Al-Asabi state will be the name of this new country that will gain its independence over in here. Now it did exist previously, but now they get full recognition from the world as a sovereign state, and with this we see the formation of the Al-Asabi pirate state. And that will do it for today's video. I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.